Hello, Farlanders. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands or Bust. That's right. This is episode 842 of the series. I had no problems walking out of the door that time. Say hello to Wolfie, who barked from a distance to let the episode start. But yeah, let's secure this hidey hole and continue to the Farlands here in Minecraft Beta 173. Like I said, for episode 842 for your Friday, March 3rd, 2023. Being recorded live on Twitch the day before. And totally the first time we started this episode. No problems were had or anything technical or otherwise that would have caused us to have to restore a Farlands or Bust backup and start this episode over from the beginning. Completely normal stuff going on here. Don't even worry about it. I just need to make a real quick check. I think it would have been right there or over this hill. I think it was over this hill. Just really quick, just a little bit of a technical look. It was like over here by this sand stuff, right? Yeah, nope, it's all good. This is the first time. This is the first time we're walking and seeing this land. There's no strange monuments of any particular design here at all that would have showed up had we not restored the backup properly. You know, normal Farlands or Bust stuff. But hello, hi. Oh, we need some pigs while we're at it. I don't need that cobble, though. How's everybody doing? I do want to make a programming note. The last Farlands or Bust live stream, which I believe was the live stream from February... Where are you going, you dingus? February 23rd. Well, he lives there now. 2023. That's a good live stream. I got an interview questions from somebody, and some of them are questions I've answered before and pretty basic Farlands or Bust stuff. But otherwise, if you're looking for a introduction or a good refresher on the Farlands or Bust series, or what it means to me, or who I am, or any of that business, please check out that live stream. It's honestly not that much longer than a normal episode, but I think it's well worth your time, and I think a lot of people missed it just based on the views. I don't know how to YouTube anymore. It used to be that you publish a YouTube video at a particular time of day, like 5 p.m. Eastern time. And that's like the guaranteed time that everybody's going to see your video. That's why all the UHCs went up at that time or whatever. I'm also going the wrong way. So, listen. That's fine. It's totally fine. Nobody noticed on stream or anything like that. We didn't notice the first time we started recording this episode, which didn't happen. Everything is just going fine. Gosh. 12 years and then everything just starts to fall apart, eh? Good thing I got this compass. Because otherwise, the sun is directly overhead. How am I to know? What was I saying? Now I really should build the monument here. There is a monument in another timeline. You'll just have to believe me. It's a very wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey, another dimension, that sort of thing. But oh yeah, when like you upload or publish... Oh, the skeleton residue is here though. It was only one. Chaos. Yeah, I don't know what to do to make sure people see those. I know less people watch the live stream VODs versus like the official episodes like this, but I feel like that one's pretty important. I also can't, or they asked me not to say what the interview was for, but I'll certainly let you know when whatever XYZ project comes out. They were very pleased with my answers, and I did not write them down. I merely showed them the episode and said, "Here's my answers." I'm lazy, but they really enjoyed it, and I really appreciated the questions. The interviewer seemed a bit more interested in farlands or busts in Minecraft and what it means to me, versus a lot of other and previous interviews I've done are merely seem to be interested, which is understandable, in like just the trivial, the novel aspects of it, the video game aspects of it, and not necessarily like me or who I am or why am I doing it, that sort of thing. So that was a good, refreshing series of questions. But anyway, speaking of recapping and looking back, like I said, it's March 3rd when this episode comes out on YouTube, maybe at 5 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know. It clearly doesn't matter anymore. You'll be served the content that YouTube thinks you should be served. Unless you ring that bell. You gotta ring that bell and that subscribe button or something, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it's March 3rd. That means on March 6th, 2023, it will be the 12-year anniversary of Farlands or Bust. Not necessarily Farlands or Bust, but of this world save, of this series. Episode 001 of Farlands or Bust, and my first YouTube Let's Play, and my descent into whatever state I currently am in, started on March 6th, 2011. I don't know what to do this year. The last few years, we've done flobathons. One year we did the Flobaday Ramathon during February. Last year we did it during March, in between the 6th and the 28th, because the 28th is actually when I started walking to the Farlands. That's episode 11 of Farlands or Bust was on the 28th. This year, I don't know what to do. I could just start streaming Farlands every day, I suppose. I also considered, like, hey, what about, like, one of the many ideas that I've not enacted would be, like, to try the old Subathon thing, now that Subathons are no longer important on Twitch, but do a Farlands or Bust Subathon. I would have to very quickly figure out how those work. Like how to, like, say one sub equals what's the normal? Is it like one sub is 10 minutes or something like that to a stream? Is that how it works? I was originally thinking of doing a subathon with Desert Golf, where one sub is one more hole. Ask Good, he'll tell you. I mean, there's some Twitch channels who just do a subathon for like a month and then you'll see them next year. So yeah. That's an idea. I should not share this, but I feel scared that it's just not gonna work. Like, I'm gonna be like, here's a subathon, and then we'll end at like with like 20 more subs than I currently have, and be like, okay, thanks for watching. That's not the point, and if that were to happen, like, whatever, yay, we streamed some Farlands, but those are my anxieties. Just being upfront with you. I realize these past few years have been not pleasant and not, say, profitable for a lot of people, myself included, in the audience and whatever, so I don't want to, like, feel like it's necessary or force it on anybody. So yeah, I mean, though that's a thought. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'd have to very quickly figure out how any of those work. Or maybe I don't very quickly, and instead I focus more on the March 28th aspect of the anniversary, when we actually started walking to the farlands, so that I don't have to, like, scramble and come up with something special for Monday. Alright, well, now that we've actually started walking the correct direction, let's go to sleep and continue in the morning. And awakeness. And continuing on this. I'm getting March 28th for the win. That's the smart way to do it. The flip side of that is that I'm merely putting off the inevitable, and on March 25th, I'm gonna start thinking about it for the first time and have the same scramble to get things together. True, and also, yes, not to be overshadowed, whenever we do a Flobathon, at the end of said Flobathon, we press F3 to see how far we walked. So, there's another caveat in there, is that if people just want me to press F3, and it's a subathon, they won't sub, because they don't want the subathon to continue. On the flip side, if people want the number to be as big as possible, then they'll try to keep the subathon going as long as possible. There's the third aspect in which I think way too much about all of these things. and in doing so, prevent any form of happiness. So yeah, I don't know. Those are ideas. I think being that I'm old, I don't think I would be able to do, like, actually be live for, like, analysis paralysis. We coined that term already, didn't we? Analysis paralysis. It's like a real junction situation. Yeah, I'm old, so I don't think I could do, like... We're on hour 148. I would have to, like, pause the subathon and be like, alright, we're at whatever 8 hours. We'll pick up tomorrow and start the timer again, you know, so I have time to, like, eat and sleep and walk the dog and, like, you know, those sorts of things that I don't necessarily want to do on the stream. Of course, it would also be fun to have, like, sub goals like I currently have to do, like, a Bob Ross stream. I don't know what the other ones would be. But yeah, that's an idea. Maybe we do a Flobathon subathon. Big fan of the Robert Ross. Chainsawing with the girlfriend. I mean, at a certain sub level, we just go out and buy a chainsaw. We don't have anything to saw though at the moment. We'll have to get some logs. So yeah, talk amongst yourselves. I'm leaning towards the subathon, Flobathon this year around, and yeah, I don't know what else is an idea other than just, like, streaming Flob. Maybe on Monday I'll just stream Flob for, like, a significant amount of time for funsies, for the anniversary's sake, but we'll do an official thing around the 28th of March. Although I think the end of the month, the girlfriend is on spring break. Spring break, woo! Sorry. So, I don't know. These are all thoughts that are intrusive into my mind that now I have to think about. You know what else is intrusive? Thoughts. I've noticed recently. We're on a new topic. New topic, everybody. Make note in the meeting minutes. I noticed recently, of the people I still follow on Twitter and who still use Twitter, a lot of the people who I met or participated in the NASA tweet-ups with, whether they be like the NASA Juno tweet-up, the SpaceX tweet-up, the Cassini finale tweet-up, or just like the NASA tweet-up social circles of people that I've gotten to know. I've noticed that a lot of them now work for NASA. And I would be lying if I didn't say I was a little jelly. I would be lying. Oh, thanks, Wolfie. At least you didn't like take me down to half a heart. I just see that and I'm like, oh, well, I'm still here. This is what I'm doing. Not that there's anything wrong with what I'm doing. But that other universe, with the previous save, there was something wrong that we were doing there. Have you checked your spam folder? Well, it's also, I also have rationalized it away that I realize I have a, like, I don't know, there's got to be a word for it, like observation bias or the observer bias. Of course, all the people that I'm noticing, who now work at NASA, were also all the people that I remember because they were the most charismatic, friendly, outgoing, the people who talk to everybody. So those qualities in and of themselves is what probably got them the jobs at NASA or at JPL or wherever they're at right now. The fact that they are personable and go-getters, Wolfie. It's definitely not everybody who attended the NASA tweet-ups that now has a job at NASA, just the ones I remember. Confirmation bias? I don't know that that's the right term for this particular scenario. I think that would be the right term if I also got a job at NASA, and then I'm like, everybody at NASA tweet-up gets jobs at NASA. That would be confirmation bias. What's the opposite of confirmation? Look at this tower, by the way. Can press F3 right here. Selection bias? Selection bias. Yeah, I'm selecting the data based on the data that's most obvious to me, and not actually looking at all the data, all the members of the NASA socials. But yeah, that's also weird. And it's not like, and they weren't, to the best of my remembrance, they weren't like rocket scientists or astronomers or in astrophysics or anything. Most of them had, from what I remember, degrees in like communications, and those sorts of things. So that makes sense that I'm seeing them now as like members of the NASA socials, social network teams, marketing teams, and things like that. But yeah, speaking of getting old and not being able to do 180-hour subathons, I also saw that and was like, huh. Did I mess up? Did I mess up big time? Should I have been Mr. Johnny with a resume trying to meet and make connections at NASA while I had those opportunities that I had. It's definitely not my personality and my vibe. Or even in my capabilities. But it's also, even so, it's kind of like, huh. Good for them. Certainly good for them. And congratulations to them for achieving those dream jobs, or whatever they have going for themselves. But those sorts of fortunes do not favor the shy and awkward. Like me. I'm a guy like me. But anyway, that was kind of my Kurt's lingering anxieties of the day. Alright, let's make this elevated hidey hole. And continue in the morning. And awakeness. Indeed. Indeed. Whoa, Juno. You been tootin'? I smell corn chips. We started before streaming. We were discussing one Cone Dodgers content. Cone had a tree fall on another tree in his yard. And Powers was in the neighborhood, so they decided to chop down said tree live on stream. I only caught the middle of the stream when they had already removed all the branches and were trying to remove the big log, the big stump, the big trunk. And the girlfriend, for those of you who don't know or who haven't been keeping up, is back in school in a forestry program to work either in public or private forestry or nature or resource management. She hasn't decided yet. But as part of that, she has learned, professionally speaking, regarding all the safety standards and equipment and operations and procedures, how to chop trees. So I was doing my best to relay pertinent information to Powers and Cone about how to cut and where to cut. And that was an interesting stream. That was an interesting stream. But we also noted that it made me a little uncomfortable when the girlfriend mentioned it, but she mentioned that Cone and Powers, the way they were working, Powers standing on the tree and using a chainsaw hoisted up over his head, and then Cone sitting down on a plastic lawn chair supervising and reading chat. Cone and Powers' work relationship was very similar to myself and the girlfriend's. The girlfriend is the one who climbs up on the roof of the house here with a leaf blower and walks all around blowing leaves and pine cones and needles off the roof and out of the gutters, while I stay on the ground. I hold the ladder. I stay on the ground and hand her tools or whatever, and I supervise and watch, just in case any sort of accident were to happen, that I'm around to take action if needed and to supervise the safety situation. Similarly, she'll be the one to rip apart the deck when need be with a sawzall and kick it down and tear it apart in pieces. And I will help clean up the debris and the mess afterwards. It was like looking in a mirror, Conan Powers. So yeah, that was an interesting parallel to see. But yeah, she was a little bit freaked out. Like when she works with chainsaws and everything, they gotta wear chaps, chainsaw chaps, which are very interesting. I didn't know how they worked, but they basically are packed with cotton, and then if you were to hit a running chainsaw to your legs, instead of slicing clean through your legs, the cotton thread that the chaps are made of wraps up in the chainsaw and then jams the chainsaw to stop the chain from moving. Essentially ruining the chainsaw, but saving your legs. She, of course, found a black pair that she can wear. I'm being told it's Kevlar Aramid strand. Kevlar. I apologize. It's Kevlar. But yeah, and they got the whole face shields thing with the net face shield, so sticks and chips don't fly into your face. I mean, she even said the last time that they were having a chainsaw class, a student did catch her chaps. So she said it happens more often than one would think. She's very adamant about the usage of the chainsaw chain brake when walking around, particularly on grounds covered in roots and vines, tripping hazards. Ear protection, obviously. So yeah, that was an interesting a crossover event, you could say, between the girlfriend's school experience and a Twitch live stream. She also mentioned that that's the sort of thing that I need. I need a friend nearby who needs a tree cut down, so then we all get together and make stupid decisions, like trying to cut the tree trunk from the middle. she's like, she's right. That's something I've never had. Friends. No, like people nearby to help, but also to like do those sorts of goofy things together. And we're certainly not going anywhere, especially while she's in school. But we have considered that there will be a time when we want to move out of Washington State. Although it's very nice. This whole area. We spent the last weekend in Oregon on the coast in Cannon Beach. We brought Juno. And that's very nice. And it was a very nice couple of days and weather. So it's going to be difficult to leave somewhere, particularly with access to an ocean or those sorts of sites. But certainly trying to be somewhere closer to people that we know and like have then the ability to actually do stuff with is on a priority list for where to move. I mean, also obviously jobs and whatever, but that's the thing about forestry and forestry management jobs. They're pretty much everywhere, and they are in demand, let me tell you. All you've got to do is send me 3 monthly payments of $24.99 plus shipping and handling, and I will tell you the wonders of forestry. It sounded a bit like I was trying to sell a pyramid scheme there. So I leaned into it. One could say those jobs grow on trees. Ooh, spooky tree noises. Spooky tree noises indeed. Who has been watching... No spoilers, I think the 3rd episode is out already. but the third season of Picard. It's not... The first 2 episodes are not bad yet. But I read something in like a review or something recently that made a lot of sense to me. What with the disappointment of the first 2 seasons and currently watching through the TV show, the Next Generation TV show. The Picard show is more of a sequel. It's a sequel for the Next Generation movies, not a sequel with the television show in mind. And that makes a lot more sense. Because the movies were bad. But no, the movies leaned a bit too much into the whiz-bang action, explosion, lens flare. Whereas the show was obviously a lot more thoughtful and more of a drama soap opera series than a sci-fi action series. Yeah, that's I haven't watched the movies a lot. But that made me go, oh yes. I still think it has a lot of problems, the streaming show-itis. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. Even in this series, for some reason, they've put the credit sequence at the end of every episode, and there's like starring Patrick Stewart and Michael Dorn and like all these people, Jonathan Frakes, and then for like the next 5 minutes, 90% of the opening credits is like executive producer, produced by executive producer. These are all people who've got their dirty little fingers in the series and are just like making it more difficult to make. So yeah, it's interesting. They seem to have like, there were at least a few like wink wink, remember the show? Like he had his flute when he was talking about stuff back at the Picard Chateau. Oh, they mentioned the Fat Enterprise. That's funny. Nobody likes the Fat Enterprise. So yeah, I feel like they've taken some of the criticism, but I guess maybe only made like brief references and little wink wink nudge nudge jokes about them. Fan service. Indeed. So yeah, will I still watch it? Yes. Will I like it? I don't know. I don't know. But I called from episode 1. I called it. I called the I won't spoil, but I called the big reveal that was at least at the beginning of the series. I knew it because we had just watched the episode where Picard and whoever else, when they teleported and became children. We just watched that. So that I'm like, I see it. I see it when nobody else does. Did I just, is that kind of a spoiler? I don't know. Anyway, that's going to do it for episode 842 of Farlands or Bust. Definitely and totally the first time we recorded and streamed this episode. No other problems have taken place or transpired here. So yeah. Tune in to figure out what I decide to do for the 12-year anniversary of Farlands or Bust. Who knows? It's a mystery. That's what keeps you on the edge. It's to be continued. ... I mean, that is what I say after it fades to just watch. After I fade to black, when I make the snoring noises, it'll actually say to be continued. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. spring break. Woo!